お前が今日から魔王を名乗ることを認めよう。異論のある奴はいるか？
リムラやるやつだって信じてたさ。
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to the last episode of The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2 Part 2. It's episode 12, and I'm not actually sure about the episode's name. I can check on Crunchyroll. Usually I do watch these episodes on Crunchyroll, but I have been struggling with, only on Crunchyroll site, I've been struggling with buffering. Someone did tell me to try a different browser or something. I haven't gotten to that yet, but that's why tonight I'm not watching on Crunchyroll. But yeah, the episode name is Octagram. Ooh, and it ended last week with, as far as I remember, ooh, he didn't end up dying or anything. He got like awoken. I remember there being some interesting comments on last week's reaction video, so I might take a look at them after this episode. So maybe I'll take a look at last week's comments, and because I remember reading some interesting ones. And yeah, I did hear that there is a movie planned. I haven't confirmed that on any, but saw from a pretty reliable source, one of my mods, he did say that there is apparently a movie announcement that has been made. So that's really exciting. I see that a lot of shows these days are opting or choosing to do some shorter arcs in like movie format. Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm not sure if Jujutsu Kaisen counts because it's more like a prequel. But anyway, I'm excited for any more slime content. So before I ramble on for too long, let's jump in. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy my reaction. Let's go. Oh, nice. That is so exciting. Damn, goosebumps. You know, I talk, I don't know how to say this, but oftentimes I'm not a fan of bad guys. I know a lot of people, like, let me explain it this way. Oftentimes when the bad guy is the main antagonist of the arc, he's the main reason for everyone's issues, in that moment I live into the story and I don't see them as a character. I see them as if this person were real, if this person was doing these things. So in that sense, I don't like bad guys. Even when I take a step back after the episode, or you know, I can appreciate them as a character. Usually after the arc or whatever, I can appreciate them as like a good villain or an entertaining villain. But during an arc, it's very difficult for me to like separate story from reality. Not difficult, but you know, I live into the story, so it's like, this is a bad guy, I hate him, he's doing bad things to good people who don't deserve it, regardless of their whatever sad backstory that they usually get. And people sometimes, you know, they get angry at me, especially when Clayman was easy because everyone kind of hated him, you know, whereas oftentimes people end up rooting for the bad guys because of sad backstories, or you know, sometimes they relate to them, and then they get angry at me because I don't feel sorry enough for them. But for me, it's like, if you do something bad and you show, like, it's not like I can't forgive people. I feel like if someone did something bad and I can see they sincerely regret it and are actively trying to be better or make up for what they did, like, I can totally forgive people. But if someone is being bad, they have no matter how they justify it, like, I'm going to not like them. And that doesn't mean that I think, oh, they deserve to go to hell. Like, I don't revel in the fact that, oh yeah, Clayman just suffered before dying. Like, I don't want people to suffer, even if they're doing something bad, because it's not, I don't think if it feels good for the person giving the punishment, I don't think it feels good for them either. I think that hurts your soul too, to some extent. And there's so much, when you talk about bad guys in different shows, there's like a million different things that you can talk about, and you can relate some of it to the real world. Like, okay, what is bad? Because you have to talk about so much to just be able to talk about that. Like, what is good and bad? Punishment versus reform, or maybe a combination of both. What type of punishment fits what type of crime, and everyone has different opinions on these things. Luckily, Clayman is a pretty easy bad guy, pretty uncomplicated not uncomplicated, more like the majority of people just sees him as a bad guy, and we all wanted him to fail in the end and, you know, get his ass kicked. And I like that. As much as I like a complex bad guy that evokes people's sadness and emotions and pity, I think I've mentioned this before, where I like Clayman as a bad guy because sometimes bad guys are just bad, and maybe he had the more reason or whatever, or some deeper reason, but I don't think the story ever played into, like, in those last moments when he was thinking of his friends and Tyr and Lapilis, like, you feel a little bit sorry there for him. But I don't mean to say that, because a lot of stories play into the sad backstory, so much so that people choose the villain's side, and I can understand that. Like I said, there's various reasons for it, but me, no, I'm not very I like characters with a strong sense of justice, like Rimuru, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Okay, those are the two that come to mind now. So it's nice, although it's nice to see them, characters like that, characters like Rimuru, winning this fight. It is also, it's not like I revel in the fact that, oh, he suffered, he's finally defeated, blah, ha, 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 ha. I don't think, anyway. It's different for every villain, of course, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on this moment specifically, and villains in general.
お前が今日から魔王を名乗ることを認めよう。異論のある奴はいるか？
世としては下賤なスライムが魔王など断じて認めたくない。けど我が友を侮辱するか。おいミルスよ、 従者のしつけがなっておらんぞ。我が教育してやろうか。
おい、何してんだおっさん。何の話でしょう。私は魔王バレンタイン様の忠実なる次女ですが。おい、ダメだぞ。バレンタインはメイドに化けて正体を隠しているつもりなのだ。ベルドラよ、それを言ってはダメなのだ。全部バラした。
わらわの名まで忘れたか。
ミルスじゃなかった。スミス、それともイルス。
本当に人をイライラさせるのがうまいものよ。もうよい。わらわのことはバレンタインと呼ぶがよい。やっぱりこのメイドが真なる魔王だったのか。
ふふ
ロイよ、貴様は先に戻っておれ。
悪くないし、だって知らなかったし。
ー。
ルミナスだったね。
気になることがある。クレイマンのやつは貴様を見て一瞬だが視線を止めたぞ。この前我が領土に侵入したというゴミ虫と関係があるやもしれん。戻って警備を厳重にするよう伝えるのじゃ。
承知。
I like her. I like that stance.
カザリームという名に聞き覚えがあった。俺が殺した魔王だ。
で、カザリームって何の話だ。カイ、クレイマンが助けを呼んだ者にカザリームという名前がありました。そのカザリームってやつはクレイマンとどんな関係なんだ。
カザリームはカースロードのことだよ。
カースロード。カザリームってやつもデスマンだったのなら、レオンに殺されたと見せかけてどこかに隠れ潜んでいたとか。
そいつはありえるかもな。クレイマン以上に油断ならない頭の切れるやつだったからな。
さて今回の議題はハリオンの裏切りとそこのリムルの台頭についてだったが、その問題は片付いた。他に何か言いたいことがあるやつはいるかい？
いいかしら。私から提案というよりお願いがあるのだけど。
いいぜ。
私はたった今からミリムに仕えることにしたわ。
なんだと？
というわけで魔王の地位は返上させてもらうわね。
待つのだフレイ。私はそんな話初耳だぞ。
ええ、言ってなかったもの。
そういう話なら俺様も言いたいことがある。俺もよ、ミリムと
Oh, him too? Do you want to jump up on my lap? You can, but then just be careful. Sorry, my cat is... She's going to jump. Ah, there she is.
タイムン張って負けた身だ。ここは潔く軍門に下ろうと思う。ってわけで俺は今日からお前の配下になる。よろしくな、大将。
私は操られて怠慢しただけなのだ。
お前が俺様の国を吹き飛ばしたのが原因だろうが、俺様たちを養う義務があるんだよ。
本当にそれでいいのかい？
俺様もいろいろ考えたんだ。もちろん10王国の王をやめようって話じゃなくてな、ミリムを上に置く新体制を築けたらって思ってんだよ。
となると、そうか。10代魔王じゃなくて8人になったんだな。
Well, with you.
困ったの。威厳的な問題としてまた新たな名称を考えねばなるまいよ。
幸いにも今はワルプルギスの真っ只中。全魔王が揃っておるのだし、良い知恵も浮かぶ。
Wait. There were 10 and then 2 resigned, but doesn't Rimuru, aren't they gonna count Rimuru?
前回は散々だったからね。名称を決めるために何度もワルプルギスを開催する羽目になったもんね。
そんなつまんない要件でワルプルギスって開催されるものなの？
お、名付けの話か。ならば我が友リムルが得意としておるわ。
今日新たな魔王。
I love how proud they all are. It's so cute. Look at these two puffing out their chests like that. Oh, so cute. Oh.
今日新たな魔王として立つリムルよ。君に素晴らしい特権を与えたい。
あ、いらないんで遠慮しときます。
これは大変名誉なことだから当然引き受けてくれるよな。というかよ、 お前が魔王の人数を減らしたのがこの問題の原因なんだぜ。
He's super creepy. I don't like. Like if someone were to come up to me like that, like anyone, like just that's my personal space. It gives me the hibbity-jibbities.
気に食わなくても文句を言うなよ。
よし。
発生魔王オクタグラムなんてどうだ？
Ooh, I like that smile.
オクタグラムなんてどうだ？
How about Octagram, meaning the 8-star demon lords?
これで勝てる！あなたの時代の到来なのだ！やっぱね、リムルならやってくれると私は信じてたさ。
さすがよな。ベルドラが推薦するだけのことはある。
まあいいわね。少しは認めてあげましょう。
一瞬かよ、すげえな。前回の俺たちの苦労は何だったんだ。
文句はない。
よかろう。発生魔王オクタグラム。
この聖なる場所に潜り込むとは本当に虫って嫌いだわ。
おい、どうないなってんで。日向会長が誘い出しとくって約束やなかったんか。話が違うで。
Oh.
マジかいな。もうやってられんわ。
虫けらめが世の前に今一度姿を見せるか。
魔王。
虫けらは皆同じだな。逃げ回るのがそんなに好きか。
何の話や。
つい先ほどクレイマンが死んだのだよ。
何やと。
あの愚かで姑息なゴミ虫も貴様のように逃げ回っておったぞ。無様にも泣き叫びながらな。
何を笑っとるんじゃ、クソボケが。
誰に向かって。
ドラゴが友達を消えたんじゃ。
調子に乗るなよ、虫けらが。死ぬブラッドレイ。発動しない。
無駄や。お前はもう死んどる。せや、これはお前のコアや。
Ooh.
ああ、フットマンは怒るやろ。ああ、ティアは泣くやろな。せやからワイが笑たるわ。クレイマン、お前はほんまにバカやったで。
Damn, that is some good voice acting. Woohoo, gave me goosebumps.
終わったな。
はい、お疲れ様でした。
That was so good. I really like that. It was a good season, or second part to a season. It started off slow, but I enjoyed it for the information and the world building, character interactions, and then boom, 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 and then a really nice ending. Let's see what the comments say. Poor clown even summoned plot armor, but didn't know that plot armor was a servant of Rimuru all along. Seeing the egos of overconfident idiots like Clayman get crushed is one of the most satisfying things of all time. Judgment 526 comments, Clayman, this is my ultimate move. Rimuru swallows it. Congrats, Clayman. Your final form lasted all of 3 minutes, and that's because Rimuru took his time with you. Gi, splits the table down the middle because he's clearly too cool to walk around it. Syscon Kid, there was no way he was gonna win. Like, did he not hear the opening song playing in the background? I love it when I remember in the first season of Dr. Stone, when they played somewhere at the end, I don't remember, I think it was in the last episode, they played the first opening song at the ending, or I don't remember when it was played in one of the last episodes, but oh, bye Toshi. There she goes. But I remember freaking out. It was just so good when that song started playing. I love it when they do that. Like, in this case, there was no opening song, so they just used the opening song in a scene. But that is part of it. Like, whether you use the opening song in a scene at the beginning where the opening song should be, or whether you use the opening song as the final fight song, like whatever it, or was it, yeah, I think it was like instead of an ending song, they used the opening song as the final fight song or something. I don't remember, but I just remember that was good. In this episode, they utilized it really well as well. So, let's see. Blank user 23. With season 2 wrapped up, a movie has been announced for fall 2022. 1 year is too long. Like uncle, like niece. Clayman was pretty disappointing considering how much they've been building him up since the very start of the series. But the thing is, we found out that he is not what they've been building up to. He is just a puppet being used by what they're building up to. So at least for me, he wasn't a disappointment. Rimuru is just too OP. Clayman just served as the season's bad joke. Verdict 8.1 out of 10. So that is from blank user 23. Let's take a look at my score for the episode and for the season. Scores. Let's see here. Seasonals. Slimy Sekai up to episode 12. For this episode, I would give a 9 out of 10 for enjoyment. Oh, the audio once again, and the voice acting there by Lapless. That's his name, right? 9.5 overall for audio. Audio is brilliant. Visuals, I would say 8.5, especially Rimuru's expressions in the first 4 minutes or so. But everything was overall very good. Characters, I really like the introduction of the new, or the, I would say overall characters for this episode specifically, 8 out of 10. There wasn't a lot of focus on characters, just kind of reintroducing them after some dropped out as demon lords, and now Rimuru is part of them. So yeah, overall 8 out of 10 characters in this episode. And then story as a conclusion episode, I would give it an 8.5. Conclusion to the season. I think it was, actually, you know, the characters are really lovable and great, but so maybe it's more that the characters are very good, but I don't know why. With the character interactions and the role they play in the story, that's why I give that a higher score. So even though it's the story and the characters in the story, but I'm scoring the like I said, the interaction part and the roles they play in the story, it had more to do with the story than the characters. For example, you know, the two stepping down, it has to do, it's two characters stepping down from Demon Lord to following Milim, but that has more to do with the story than the characters themselves. Does that make sense? So I think that is 8.5 for story, 8 for characters. Yes, I think that's fair. And that gives us an overall 8.7, and then equal average score for the season. The average score for the season is not always the exact score I give for the overall season, because as I've explained, if you've seen my reactions before, each episode I try and judge it as an you know, this episode by itself. Sometimes you take a little bit account what came before it, but mostly I try and judge it as, you know, this is the episode, this is what I think of this episode. When you judge a season, you take a look at it as a one, not just one episode, but 12 episodes. So it's a completely different picture. Although oftentimes they do, the average score does end up being more or less the same as the overall score, but depending on the ending and how things played out, it could end up being a lot lower, a lot higher. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens here. Average score, you work that out. 8.7, 8.3, 8.3, 8.1, 7.8, 7.9, 7.5, 8.1, 9, 8.8, 9, and 8.7. So it had that's an overall score of 8. Oh, there we go, 8.3. I was just about to say 8. Just 8. That's weirdly specific. Like, okay, but it is an 8.3 if you add the 1 decimal. If you round it up, it's an 8, but 1 decimal, it's an 8.3. So as you can see, it started off strong, dipped a little bit below 8, around 5, 6, 7. 7, episode 7 being the lowest score at 7.5 for the whole season. And then 8, 9, 10, it picked up again. I think the highest score was 9 for it. Let's see here, 8.7. Yeah, the highest score was 9, and that's for episode 9 and 11. So 9 and 11 were the best episodes for me. In terms of overall score, which gives us an 8.3 average score, which it was definitely a show that I looked forward to every week. It's definitely something I would recommend to most people that are new to anime, that have been watching anime for a long time. It's something that's like kind of, there's something in there for everyone, you know? So let me see here. Overall score, I would say story 8.5 overall. Like I said, I like the beginning was more focused on story building, world building, and then they started gearing up for the fight. But that was the part, like, with the 5 fingers, I didn't care so much for that. But then Walpurgis, that was great again. So the story had, like, it was very consistent for the most part. Small dip, but overall very good. So an 8.5. What's this? Characters, I would give overall 9, I think. Especially Rimuru as a main character is brilliant. Side characters, lovable and entertaining. So overall great. Visuals for this season, I would say overall very good. It had some peaks. I liked that it was consistent. But besides these last few episodes... Wait. Maybe that's not entirely fair, is it? Like, I remember in the beginning really loving the expressions. I felt like they stepped up their game a bit. But there wasn't much to appreciate in terms of... They were mostly talking and yada, but the expressions were really good. Then there was a little bit of a stagnation for me. Like, I didn't really notice so much the visuals. And then... Shuna's fight, and here in the last 2 episodes, I think that was the best in terms of visuals. So I think maybe 8 is a little bit low. It would be like, maybe it's a little bit low, but I guess I'm scoring it in a subjective way in terms of I think they could do so much better, like even better. The sound effects though, I would give that an 8.8 overall. The sound effects were just awesome. And then enjoyment, I would say 8.5 overall. Quite consistent. Which gives us a score of 8.6 for the season as a whole, compared to the 8.3 average score. I feel like the only thing is 8.6 sounds a bit high for me, only because I know the show could push it further. Like I'm judging the show based on how good I know it can be. So 8.6 sounds a bit high. I would probably, if I were not to be fair or trying, because you know, scores are always subjective, but I try and be a little bit more objective. So that is my more trying to be objective score. But if I had to give it the subjective score, I'd probably give it more like an 8.3, 8.4, because 8.3, I just think that it can be better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it was really great. 8.6, 8.6. It was consistent. That's what I liked about it too. Where is that time? QRST. Season 1 got a 7 from me because, and this is because the first half of the season I thought was brilliant. The second half I did not like almost at all, but only because in stark contrast to the first half was like a 9, almost 10, whereas the second half was like a 7 at best. So that's why it ended up being an overall 7. The second season got an 8, this one got an 8.6, but I just feel like that's being a bit too nice. Although it's only fair. It feels like that's the only fair score to give it. But personally, I kind of want to let me give it a nice round 8.5. I feel a bit better about that. So I took like a 7, 8, 8.5, and now we can just see where they're going to go from here. Okay, so that is my opinion. I wonder if you can filter your watched anime by isekai. Filters, yes. TV. Genre, oh, you can't do isekai. Sort, no. Open random list entry, filter compatible, what's that? Genre, I guess. Fantasy, so this is only fantasy. That time I got Reincarnated as a slime. So like, look, in terms of other, well, is fantasy its biggest? Fantasy, can you add more than one? Comedy, action, that is slime, right? Here, yes, okay, nice. That filters it very, like, I like this because now I can compare other fantasy, comedy, action, because that's what I see slime as. It has season 2 here, but not season 2 part 2 for some reason. That's weird. But Dorohedoro I gave an 8.5, Drifters 9, Fairy Tail season 1 7, 2014 7.5, Final season 7. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon season 1 has a 9? What? I gave that a 9? Why did I like it so much? I don't remember. I mean, I remember it, but then season 2 kind of fell off from a 9 to a 7. Damn, a 9? When did I watch this? Does it say when I completed it? Start date, I started in the 2019 5th month, I think, or the 5th of the 1st or the 1st of the 5th, I don't know. I just said episode 8 was the best. Really? But I mean, that is more, I guess, I'm a sucker for, you know, ecchi shows. It's not really ecchi though. It was more like, damn though. Okay. So that's my highest score. Fantasy, comedy, action. I would not have guessed that, honestly. Noragami has an 8.5. So I'm a Spider, So What has an 8. That would have been higher if it wasn't for the visuals. I actually like the story. Some people didn't like that they included certain aspects of the story. But so Slime, I would give it an overall, like this last season was an 8.5. Or if I look at season 2 and season 2 part 2, that would be an average score of 8.3 because it's an 8 and an 8.5, right? So it's one of my top 3, no, top 4. Because it would be, technically, is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon at number 1? Then Noragami and Dorohedoro at 2. Then Slime at 3 or 4, whatever. Depending on, if I had to choose between Dorohedoro and Noragami, they're so different. Those two are very different. You can't compare them. So they share the second spot. So technically, Slime season 2 would fall at 3rd place in terms of comedy, action, fantasy shows that I've seen personally. Oh wait, I skipped Drifters. Did I say Drifters? Drifters? Oh, I did. I said Drifters first. Oh, Drifters also has a 9. Okay. New thing. I would say Drifters first. By some amazing, okay, that happened. Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 1 would be my 2nd. Then Dorohedoro and Noragami shares 3rd place. Slime season 2, 4th place. By score. But by favorite, that's completely different. Because just because I don't give something a good score, like, it's a good score, 7 out of 10 for Fairy Tail. But like, Fairy Tail is one of my favorite shows. Like a nostalgic favorite, a personal favorite is and you can't even really compare. Like Dorohedoro has 12 episodes, whereas that has hundreds, 200, 300, I don't know. But so like, take all of what I say with a grain of salt. I just think it's interesting to look at these kinds of things and talk about them. And yeah, okay. So that is it from me. Thank you guys for watching with me this season or watching my reaction. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. I guess I'll see you next time. In terms of seasonals, next season, I am actually starting Tucked Up Destiny. Season 2 of Demon Slayer is starting. The Jujutsu Kaisen movie is coming out in December. JoJo's is coming out in December, I think all at once. And then I was going to watch Komi Can't Communicate, but I don't know. I'm gonna first see what people say about the anime. Like, maybe it would be better to... I think that's the kind of show, the kind of story I would prefer to read. In terms of comedy romance, I generally prefer reading them over watching them. Because... I wouldn't say I prefer it. I would just say, every time I've watched a comedy romance, I watch the anime, and then I read the manga, and then the manga's always better, like, by a lot. So I was thinking, like, this kind of, in terms of the story that I expect Komi-san Can't Communicate to be, I just feel like I should just jump straight into the manga. But I'm going to hear what people say about the anime. So instead, I am going to do, like, a romance type of reaction. But this will be on Patreon only. I'm going to start Horimiya, which is the season of this year, but not this season. So yeah, I'm not really starting a lot of new stuff, but I will be starting Tucked Up Destiny. Demon Slayer whenever that comes out, JoJo's when that comes out in December. Oh, and also for Patreon, I am starting Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood soon. And not soon, I would say in October somewhere. Maybe at the end of October, maybe at the beginning, I'm not sure. I'll see. But I'm going to see first. I'm going to get far ahead into that before I decide if I want to post YouTube reactions, because it just, I don't want it to turn into a whole other Hunter x Hunter thing, you know, where I didn't like it enough and YouTube hated that, and that influenced my opinion, my experience, I would say, not my opinion. People keep saying, oh, don't let people's opinions influence your experience. And I'm like, okay, you tell me how that goes when you have hundreds of people talking to you every week about a show they love and you're just getting into. And then you tell me how you do when you try and do that. So by limiting it to Patreon, I just limit the amount of backlash I'm going to get if I don't love it as much as I'm supposed to. and spoilers and stuff is easier to manage when it's like Patreon exclusive. So, but don't worry, everything will eventually come to YouTube, I hope. Especially the more popular stuff. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of them. Okay, that's it from me. See you next time. Bye.